Hey guys, it's Faye and this is Day with Faye. Today I am going to be talking about traveling with your emotional support animal and what to expect, specifically with American Airlines, but also in general. So now one thing is that you have to register your animal with your psychiatrist or your therapist or your mental health counselor. And this generally costs about $100, but it does last you all year long, whereas just boarding a pet, not as an ESA, but just a normal pet that is under, I believe, 20 pounds total with the carrier, cost $100 each way, and they have to be under the seat. The carrier has to meet specific regulations. And your dog and carrier counts as one of your carry-on items. Whereas with an ESA, the airline does not charge you at all for having your ESA on board. Your dog does not have to be in a carrier, specifically like with my 12-pound dog. He was allowed to be on leash the whole time. He behaved pretty well. He actually could sit on our lap, which was pretty good. It was actually very comforting on the plane. Personally, Mike and I chose seats that were the window seat and the middle seat so that I could be in the middle seat, just so that we didn't have to worry about Dexter sniffing and bothering anybody that was walking down the aisle of the airplane. So there's an emotional support psychiatric service animal authorization form. This form is valid for 1 year from the date the mental health professional has signed the form. Small animals may remain in the passenger's lap during the flight. If a carrier will be used, because you can still use a carrier for your ESA, it must meet the USDA guidelines and it has to fit under the aircraft seat. This is with traveling within the US. Now, if you're traveling an international location, other documentation might be required with like immunizations for your dog. Definitely just check in with American Airlines ahead of time and ask them what you need for your specific international travel trip. So I'm including the form here and I'm blurring out the details that we filled out. Basically, you fill this out and then you fax a copy of the completed form or written statement to the American Airlines Special Assistance Coordinator, and it gives you like the phone number and the email. But one thing that this did not include that I realized I needed to do, because we actually sent this form way in advance, like a week in advance before a flight. It said something that someone was gonna answer us within 48 hours, so 48 hours passed. I'm like, hey, how come no one has answered us? And they said, you actually have to call the airline first, let them know that you are going to send that document so they know to look for it. And then they should call you 48 hours prior to your travel date just to confirm that everything is in fact okay. For us specifically, we were flying in the holiday season, so obviously that's super busy, and we got a call like 24 hours before our flight. But everything worked really smoothly. Even when we checked in and everything was smooth sailing. I brought the form just in case. They were like, we don't have this on file, but I never needed to use it. But again, I do recommend having the form in your documents. I also had like his latest immunization forms because, I don't know, you never know. It's never wrong to prepare too much, you know? Dexter had a really great time being on the airport. He really liked the airport. He loved seeing people. One thing that I recommend is definitely take your dog on a very long walk beforehand. They do have, some airports do have relief areas for your service animal, which I did take video of. But Dexter was just not feeling it, and we did meet another support animal that was also not feeling it, so it's not uncommon. So if your dog is potty trained on pee pads, and bring those along. Another thing is that we got the collapsible bowl so that I could just fill in water and he could drink from it whenever he needed. This was actually Dexter's first flight. Dexter's really nervous in cars, and so I thought maybe it would be like that with airplanes, but we really tried hard to create a positive environment for him, a positive and calm environment for him. Actually, he was able to sleep. He slept both ways, and he loves the plane, so that was awesome. We also actually brought a blanket with us on the airplane. Just because I don't want people to touch him when we were going down the aisle, so we kind of just covered him and people thought he was a baby. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be okay and it's not that stressful. We actually did have pre-check, which was really helpful because the lines were ridiculous during Christmas time in the airport, but with pre-check it was like, we are there, because they actually advised us to get there 2 hours ahead before the boarding time, and wow, we did not need that much time, but oh well. So another thing to include is that when you go through security, I did not have to take his harness off. I only had to take the leash portion off. So other than that, it was pretty easy. I held him up and we went through the metal detector screen, and that was it. yeah, so Dexter had a really good time on his first flight, and hopefully this information helps you have a good first flight with your ESA or helps you know what to expect. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe if you haven't already. We try to post videos every Wednesday and Friday, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Yeah, have a good day, guys. Bye.